Poland has been one of those black metal countries that has been pushing out rather interesting and I would say high quality names along the years since rather early 90s. Now that doesn't really stop newer bands popping up, as it's the case with yet another Wolfspell Records band called Lek. Really don't know how to pronounce this name because it's Polish. Doesn't really mean the same thing as, say, in Swedish. Lek meaning something like toy. But nevertheless, don't judge the band by its name, but rather by its music. Now the previous release, EP from 2019, was rather potential, but didn't quite reach the quality I was hoping for. After all, Wolfspell Records is one of those Polish labels that seem to put out rather interesting names time after time, even though sometimes there are bands which are not, at least in my opinion, not that great. Now it seems that this 2020 release came out in December. Lek has a little bit improved since their last time. This one is their third album, and I don't even dare to try to pronounce the name because, you know, Polish pronunciation can be quite tricky for the people who really don't speak Polish. The style here is rather melodic, somewhat even atmospheric, and it's quite nicely executed. This four-man band has been out there quite some time right now, and it seems they have been improving their sound at least a little bit. Not that I'm exactly familiar with their earlier works, but at least compared to the previous one, like I said, there's a little bit of improvement. This album, running some 45 minutes, features 8 tracks, and like I said, the style is rather melodic, somewhat atmospheric, but it's kind of avoiding those extremities when it comes to a black metal style. I mean, it's not really raw, and once again, remind this is context about black metal, not all metal at all. And with that bearing in mind, it seems like this is going so-called middle road. You will hear a lot of melodies there, but it's not overly melodic. I'm talking about the so-called Swedish style, you know, dissection, dark funeral, etc. This is even nowhere near. But compared to so many raw bands, especially coming from Poland, because there is certain kind of a Slavic feeling with this album, this is somewhat melodic, not just too much. And same applies also to the production here. It's very clear in so many ways, but it's not like overly produced by some, you know, big label or mainstream sound. So it's not like uberly heavy, but it's just kind of avoid the more traditional raw underground sound. And also the same applies to the vocals. They're obviously raspy black metal vocal style and quite traditional, quite middle road in that respect. So once again, for a black metal head, doesn't matter new or old, this is very easy to get into. It's just like a very basic stuff in so many ways. Unfortunately, that also applies to the peaks and lows of the album, because in my opinion, while there are no exactly low moments, no weak moments as such, everything is pretty consistent throughout the whole album. Unfortunately, it seems to lack the kind of our riffs and parts, chorus or otherwise, which really take you to this fly up high. So it's more like very consistent melodic black metal album with some more, I'd say, sensitive parts, you know, the kind of almost like acoustic guitars brought into the play, and everything just, you know, sounds nicely and all that stuff, but it really doesn't have these mind-blowing moments. Not the kind of songs that would become like future classics or the like. So it's more like one of those 7 out of 10 albums. Very easy to listen, there's nothing really to hate or all that stuff, but it can get you a little bit bored over time. I gave this maybe 4 listens in a row, and I still feel like there is no songs to be singled out. There are no parts which just, you know, rise above the rest. Very steady, very consistent, but that can be a downside too. Obviously, if you are into melodic and atmospheric black metal, you should check it out. links will be provided in the description box, and in case that style just makes you allergic, just give this one a pass and move on. Thanks for watching the review. Should you have comments or questions, put them on the box below and I'll get back to you. Bye bye.